Good morning, students of class 6. How are you? I hope you will be fine. Students, the last topic was decline of Buddhism and Jainism that we read in the chapter 4 of history. So 4 chapters you are continuously reading the history only. So that's why I thought to teach you the civics today. Okay, there are 2 just chapters in civics. So let's proceed with the topic how we run our villages. Students, we all know that a country is governed, a country is run by a government. In your state, there is a state government, and your chief minister is Mr. Nitish Kumar, and he is running the government of a state at present. Yes, in the country, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi is running the country. In the same way, the question arises here that how we run our villages. Is there any government? Is there anyone who runs the villages? Have you ever thought? So, yes, there is also a government like central government, like state government. There is one more government in our country that is called local self-government. Central government to run the country only. The state government is made to run the state, to govern the state, and there is third kind of government in our country to look after the affairs of local areas of our locality, and it is called local self-government. Children, local self-government, we have to understand the meaning first. What is local self-government? Government, you all know, that runs, that the country that runs the state, that runs the government, that look after that these areas. Self means by ourselves. Self means by, suppose I am doing anything with myself. So I myself have done any kind of job. So myself, yourself, himself, yes, ourselves, themselves. So self, खुद अपने आप, खुद से कोई काम. Okay. So local self-government to look after the administration, to provide the facilities like water supply, electricity, road, hospitals, schools. There are many kind of facilities which are provided by the government. So these facilities are also available in rural areas. Rural areas means in the villages also, and these facilities you are also prevailing in your city also. Yes. So we were talking that what is the meaning of local self-government. So these kind of facilities are provided by local self-government. There is one government, one local self-government for rural areas, and there is another local self-government for urban areas. You are living in urban areas, so in the Motihari city, the different facilities that you are getting, these facilities are provided by urban local self-government. And if you belong to village, there also there are these kind of facilities. Yes, but the facilities are less than the city in villages. Okay, because that is village and this is city. So these kind of facilities are also provided in rural areas, in our village also, and this is provided by the locals of self-government, rural local self-government. So there are two: local self-government, rural local self-government, and urban local self-government. We have to discuss the local self-government in rural areas also, because the chapter is how we run our villages. Yes. So just we were discussing what is local self-government. So the management means how these facilities are given. Who are giving these facilities? Who are behind the scene? Okay. So whatever the facilities we are enjoying, we are getting in the villages, in the cities, who are responsible to provide these facilities? Yes. So definitely there will be some persons, there will be some officials, there will be some representatives who are responsible to give these facilities to us. Yes. So, and to provide all these facilities, how they are provided to us, this is called management. Yes. So we are just defining the term local self-government. So the management of local affairs, the management of these local facilities, these local concerns, by the representatives of our locality themselves, is called local self-government. Yes, and we are talking about local self-government. Rural means villages. So in the villages, we choose our representatives, the people who are of the age of 18, they give vote and they elect their representatives in their villages. Yes, and those representatives provide us such kind of villages, such kind of those representatives provide us these facilities, and we have elected these rulers by ourselves. Okay, you will see in the villages that to take any decision, all people could gather at one place, because village is participate in the decision making. Okay, we have chosen our representatives also, so there will be representatives. Apart from representatives, all people of villages, okay, they together can take their decision that what they have to do, what is the more important thing is to be done right now at present. Yes, so all these kind of decisions are taken by the representative of our local area, by the participation of the villagers. The decisions are being taken. Yes, so we can say we are taking decision ourselves. Okay, directly we are choosing our representatives, and directly we are participating in the decision making in the villages, because the village is small area and it is possible that everyone can gather at a place. That's why it is possible, and that's why village administration is called direct democracy. We are not just electing our people directly, our representatives directly, but also we are involving ourselves in the decision making. So thus we can say that the government that is running the villages, that is called local self-government. Yes, did you understand? So local self-government. So local self-government in villages is called panchayat. Yes, and panchayat provides all the civic amenities, facilities to the people of rural area, to the village, and it is by the local self-government. Okay, so in this manner, in this way, we run our village by choosing our representatives and by participating in the decision making. Later we will discuss all the other parts. There are two. This is local self-government is a three-tier system. At the bottom there is panchayat, which is formed in the villages. That part we have discussed right now. Okay. Above panchayat there is panchayat samiti. It is also called block samiti. So in the block there are different panchayats, different villages. So panchayat samiti, and the highest local self-government in rural area is called Jila Parishad. It works at district level. So it is a three-tier system: Jila Parishad, Panchayat Samiti, and Panchayat for villages. Okay, and now we will discuss why we formed local self-government, why there was need of local self-government. Yes, because already there were two levels of government in our country. One for the entire country, one government for the entire country, that is called central government, that looks after the affairs, after the affairs relating to the country. Then state government that runs the state and looks after all the affairs of the state. And so these were already in the existence. Why we made third? Why we made the third kind of government? That we were discussing from the beginning, local self-government. Why there was need of the local self-government? Yes? So in your chapter, in your topic, there is a topic, advantages of local self-government. When we will discuss these advantages of local self-government, you will automatically come to know that apart from those two government, why we formed a third level of government, that is local self-government. Okay, few things we have already discussed, that local self-government is a government in which people are participating directly in the decision making. Okay, but in central government, but in state governments, we just elect our representatives. Yes, and on the behalf of the people, our elected representatives in the central government, in the state government, they take the decisions. Yes, so in the decision making there is no direct participation of the people. Yes, but in the local self-government, just we discussed that the people of villages, they are participating directly, they are involved in the decision making. So this is the first advantage of local self-government. Local self-government gives a chance to the people of the locality to govern themselves. Yes? This is the single government which gives us opportunity to govern ourselves. That is the most important, that is the unique, peculiar quality of local self-government. Okay, so we can also say that this is the first advantage of local self-government. Next, we know our problems better in our locality. Suppose your class, students of class 6 of section 8, and what are the problems in your class? Who will understand better than you? Yes? The class teacher knows the problem, and through the students, the class teacher come to know what are the different problems. Then the class teacher tells to the higher authorities regarding the problems of your class. So thus the problem that is in the class by you, it reached to the class teacher, then it reached to the higher authorities. Yes? So that is the point, that we know our problem better. Local self-government, in local self-government, in villages, people know their problem well. Yes? So if we know our problem well, then only we can solve it in a better way. How the outsiders can know what are the problems in our family. Yes? This is also an example to understand this point in good way. So the local people of any local area, like village, district, block, in city, there are different parts of city also. So in a locality, in a particular locality, all the people of that particular locality, they know which kinds of problems are there and how they can be solved. in local self-government. Second, we can say because we people know our problem well, so the problems can be sorted out, the problems can be solved in better way. So this is the second advantage of local self-government. And next, third, we can say it makes the local people self-reliant and responsible. Self-reliant means self-dependent. Local self-government makes the people self-reliant, self-dependent. They are themselves taking the decisions. They are themselves interested in solving the problems. They are not waiting for the others. They are self-dependent. They don't have to say, to consult to any other form of government for the solution of the problems. Yes? So, in this way, the people become self-reliant, self-dependent after the formation of local self-government. Yes? And in this way, the people are now more responsible. Suppose at the time of natural disaster, suppose flood comes, so all the people of a village, they come together and they help each other to prevent themselves from the disaster. Yes? So, this way we have concluded this point. Lastly, it reduces the work of central government and state government. State government and central government, these are the higher government than local self-government, and in 1992 the constitutional status was given to the local self-government because by making some changes in the constitution, local self-government was given constitutional status. Yes? And the election of the representatives of local areas are held at regular interval of 5 years. The funds are allocated to the local governments. So thus they are not dependent on state government and central government. And local government in this way, they govern their locality, they govern their areas themselves. So this is the third kind of government. So it solves all the issues of their areas. They don't have to consult with the higher governments. So thus we can say, after the formation of local self-government, the burden of central government and state government has been reduced. So this is the third advantages. It reduces the work of central government and state government. Okay. So these three were advantages of local self-government. What is local self-government? We discussed. So this was for the today, and in next videos we will proceed further in the topic. One by one we will discuss the other form of other governments at rural level, like Jilla Parishad at district and Panchayat Samiti at block. So this part we will conclude in the next video. Till then, just goodbye.